Now, most households in Ghana are struggling to cope with the soaring cost of food, forcing many to exceed their monthly budgets. Families are now spending at least twice their usual amount on groceries, raising concerns about food security in the coming weeks. The World Food Programme has warned that at least 1 million Ghanaians could face food insecurity between June and August this year. Consequently, individuals and analysts are urging the government to prioritize agricultural investment to address this growing threat. Citi News' Adwa Tinkrama Domina reports.
It's past 6 p.m. in Ghana's capital, Accra. Henrietta J., a mother of 3, including her husband, has been struggling for months to manage their 1,000 Ghana cedis monthly food budget. This evening, she arrives at a Dona market with only 200 Ghana cedis, finding herself unable to purchase most items on her list due to escalating food prices.
We came here with 200, but things are very high here, so we are just managing it so that we short some already, but we just came in to purchase some short items here. That in a month, we are just 3, let's say 1,000, for those food items. It's not helping us at all, but we are just managing. We are just hoping that everything will just come to normal. If the government help us, we will be okay.
Henrietta's story is not unique. The Global Report on Food Crisis 2024 predicts that up to 208.3 million people worldwide will face food insecurity this year. In Ghana, the World Food Programme estimates that between June and August, around 1.05 million people will experience food insecurity. Despite this being a slight improvement from projections last November, the recent surge in food prices raises concerns about worsening food security. Alhaji Baba, a poultry seller supporting a family of 8, shares how these challenges are affecting his household.
Sana mine mo kwano ano den too much because okojoma say fan say body juru e da hoyi first no na ya ton be 10 cedis this year 50 cedis nto ya o ma oba ni sika kwa market kura ebi asika no kura obayi no kura no ebi ni ho so management no kura o de 500 man kura so fan kwa market na o say we me de kwato den na ya ro kura ma because ubedwen ho a wonti ase before that the month end no kura no ska obey spend no kura no baby ska na dey fa adwuma na wo ye no kura so ye hu ano.
August is typically a harvest season in Ghana with ample food supplies between August and December. Economist Professor Patrick Isumin highlights the risk of food insecurity during what should be a plentiful period. He advises households to adopt innovative strategies to cope, such as adjusting dietary preferences and buying non-perishables in bulk.
People have to adopt slightly different strategies. If you have access to food items from, if there's a way that you can get food from your villages, if you have folks in the villages who can send you food, I think that would be helpful. And then sometimes you make cost savings when you buy food in bulk, especially the non-perishables. So some of the grains, some maize, and some of the tubers, you can save them over a period of a month or so. So I think buying in bulk will help. But then again, some may face the liquidity challenge. Maybe they might want to buy in bulk, but the means might not be there. So I think, so those are some things that you can use to cope. If there are alternative means of buying the food and not having to travel to the main markets where things get a little expensive, those ones will be help. And then some of the food items today come in grains. There are quality differentiation. So maybe you might consider stepping down to the lower ones. And then also, especially the ones that are imported. I think as the currency is depreciating, you should expect that imported food will be going to be relatively more expensive. So if you have a taste for apple and grapes, maybe now is the time to consider maybe buying some pawpaw and pineapple and oranges that are available locally.
In Parliament, leaders from both the majority and minority caucuses addressed the issue during their welcome speeches.
Today, food prices have gone through the roof. Many of our compatriots are unable to put food on the table for their families. Over 1 million Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, according to the Ghana Statistics Service, are likely to face food insecurity between June and August of this year because of the rising food prices. Mr. Speaker, food inflation is about 48% in Ghana today, ranked as the 5th in the world with the highest food inflation. Yet, this is not slated as an urgent matter.
We know that, Mr. Speaker, food inflation is not 48%, as the minority leader wanted to tell us. Mr. Speaker, food inflation is not 48%. Mr. Speaker, this government acknowledges that we have challenges in the economy. We didn't see COVID coming.
The General Agricultural Workers Union GAWU argues that the government's failure to tackle illegal mining, known as galamsey, continues to jeopardize the country's food security.
Our laws are clear that what is being done as galamsey, which is destroying the agricultural infrastructure, is an illegality. The Constitution is clear. Minerals, rivers, and the rest are all vested in the President of the Republic of Ghana, who holds that in trust of the people. So are we saying that the state, we have a failed state to the extent that we cannot stop galamsey when we have regional ministers, we have regional commanders of police and all security people, we have district commanders, we have DCs, and yet we think that we cannot solve galamsey? So the long term depends on whether or not we will begin to solve galamsey. Cocoa, in the future, there will not be, the production of cocoa will decline, because apart from farmers also selling their cocoa farms, they are being forcefully taken out of their farms by these galamseyers. What do? They use money to induce these people to give up their farms. If you are a farmer and you're so recalcitrant, you think that you are so patriotic that you will not sell your farm to them, they will simply flood your farm with their dirty water. Because, they trap the dirty water. They will flood your farm. You cannot go in there.
That's what's happening.
That is what is happening. And then also, the cocoa farm does not like that type of flooding. It needs water, but it needs water that can drain out. It doesn't need stagnant water. So when they flood your farms with this type of water, and you cannot even go there, the trees are not also accommodating to that. So it will affect their output. So eventually, we are destroying agricultural production in this country. So there's no future for it unless we stop it.
Many Ghanaians are calling on the government to address the high food prices to help households weather the harsh economic conditions. Stakeholders like the General Agricultural Workers Union and some Ghanaians are hoping the government will implement strategies to curb the spike in food prices and control food insecurity for the thousands of Ghanaians who are at risk in the coming months. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ajua Tenkrama Domina.